The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, Sofa Squad. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all are doing well. If you could pretty please drop a number 1 in the comment section so that I know that I can hear you all right. Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear me now. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Sandy. And hello, Vicky. Hello, Sandy. And hello, Tux. And hello, Emily. Welcome the mods to the squad. Thank y'all for being here and keeping these cushions fluffed. Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. It's lovely to see y'all. So, y'all, what we're doing tonight is tomorrow starts day 1 of the Sarah Hartsfield trial. So what I want to do is we have an old interview, like an old documentary that a TV station did. And when I say old, we're not talking like, forever ago, but it ain't from yesterday. Okay. So we're going to watch it together. Do not worry. We're going to speed it up. But this I felt like was a really good, this is what we're looking into. I'm going to do a very quick overview, like a little chat GPT AI overview real quick to kind of get everybody on the same page, the gist of it. And then we're just going to watch this together. We'll stop and talk about it along the way. Now, keep in mind that this case, this is in Texas, and the judge... Oh, wait, hold on. Emily says, please keep Audrey K and her husband in your thoughts. They have a very, oh, God, that's terrible. I hope she's doing okay. Oh, my God, bless them. Thanks you for letting us know, Emily. The case is in Texas, and the judge has allowed a camera, but no audio. Audio will be allowed for the closing arguments and the verdict, that kind of thing, whatever, right? So the news stations, there's like one in particular, but I'm sure there's going to be several that are covering it, are going to go there. So I figure what we'll do is I'm going to eye it tomorrow and see like what the vibe is. And if there's like a bunch of interesting stuff, then tomorrow night we'll go live, and kind of like we did the mushroom case, where we'll go live and we'll read the stuff together and go through it. And that's just kind of how we'll treat it. This is supposed to last, I believe, a few weeks. And keep in mind that Brian Walsh, allegedly, if everything goes as planned, is going to be going to trial on October 20th. So we might have to be there might be an overlap there, right? So if there is, what we'll do is we'll see what's going on. I can already tell you we're going to want to watch the Brian Walsh trial because it's going to be next level. Okay, we're talking about Anthony Todd 2.0 here. All those. So that being said, we'll figure it out as we go. So let me just do this. So Sarah Hartsfield, she is a defendant. She is accused of the murder of her 5th husband. His name was Joseph Hartsfield. He died via an insulin overdose. And I'm talking, they found tons of insulin things near his body. So he died in January of 2023 at Baytown Hospital in Texas. She was arrested in February of 2023. So she's still, in custody and whatnot. Now, there's also Well, hold on. Let me read this. Let me read the prosecution's case. So the autopsy ruled Joseph's death caused by toxic effects of insulin through the manner, or though the manner was initially left undetermined. Prosecutors claim that Sarah ignored alerts from a glucose tracking app about Joseph's low blood sugar, delayed or neglected a timely 911 call when she found him unresponsive, and had multiple insulin pens, up to 10, found on his bedside. In the weeks before his death, Joseph allegedly told his family he had a desire to leave Sarah, and he expressed concerns about his safety. Investigators have sought to introduce evidence of extraneous offenses by Hartsfield, including past shootings, child abuse, arson, and purported misconduct while in custody. Obviously, she pled not guilty. There's a former husband who died of, and I'm trying to let's see, 2018, David Bragg was shot to death in Minnesota. It was initially ruled self-defense, and she wasn't charged for this, but they have reopened this case. Okay. Also in 2018, a previous wife of one of her ex-husbands, her being Sarah, Rebecca Kunze, died in their home, later burned under mysterious circumstances. That case has drawn renewed scrutiny. So that's just a little bit of a overview. And now y'all help me out here. You know what this reminds me of? Hey, Shayna. Hey, John. Hey, Yvonne. So remember, y'all, Shayna, help me out here. You'll know. What was the case? Carl. We interviewed Aphrodite Jones over it. Carl, what was his name? He burned the house like he was an arsonist, and then he killed his son. He dropped the truck on his son. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Is it Carlson? Was it Carlson last name? That sounds right. Carl Carlson. Yeah, it had to be because of that whole thing with first and last name. Okay, this is what Sarah reminds me of, right? Obviously, Sarah Boone. But that level of destruction that these people leave behind, because it's just like when you got into Carl Carlson's, and I think it's on this channel that we interviewed, or it's in the main channel, one of his former wives who testified helped put him in prison. She came in the podcast. It's very interesting to talk to her. And when you hear the destruction that these people leave behind and you start unearthing it, it's like, oh my God, thank you, Peachy Keen. I appreciate that. And I'm sure whoever just got your gifted membership does too. So it just reminds me of that, where it's just like, wait, what'd she do? What about this husband? What about that husband? What about his ex-wife? The fires over here, this over here, insulin murders. I mean, y'all. So it's next, like Drew Peterson. It's crazy. David Bragg was a fiance. Yeah, that's right. So this one's crazy. So this is going to be next level. There's going to be drama. Okay. And I forget who it said. Well, let me go over here and look. Hold on. Please, start date. It's going to kick off the 29th jury selection. So there's that. It may run for a few weeks. Over 80 potential witnesses are listed, including medical experts, law enforcement, family, neighbors, and exes. The prosecution also seeks to bring in many past events. And that's it. So we'll see. Now, let's come back over here. Where'd y'all go? You're right there. Boom. Oh, Emily, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're feeling better this evening. And in general. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to put this up here. Please hold. That is right. Please hold. Something. I lost time. Okay, hold on here. Let me get this going. The two sides of Sarah. Let's go and speed it up. Let's go and speed this up now. Hold on now. We ain't got time for all that now. Let's do 1.25. It's 40 minutes, so we're just going to work through this. And let me say this. If you're watching on replay and something weird happens and you're like, oh, there's a chunk of this missing or whatever, if this gets struck or something like that, I'll have to take it out. So just know that if there's like a weird like blip in time here, that's what's happened, but hopefully it won't. So here we go. Also, I'm going to pause along the way. Sorry, let's keep going. We don't need all that.
She
Well, here we go.
has a very mean, evil streak in her.
You don't expect somebody you know to kill somebody.
No, you don't.
It takes a special kind of diabolical thinking to do that to other people.
Amen.
Things just weren't adding up. Deputies arrested 48-year-old Sarah Jean Hartsfield on Friday.
Well, new at 5 o'clock in Chambers County, woman accused of killing her husband.
Sarah Jean Hartsfield left a wake of...
And definitely, Ginger, I'm going to do more of the ad lib. So real quick before we go on, if you haven't checked out my video today on the main channel, it's an ad lib of the Donna Adelson trial. And the next one I'll do, because people love, like, thank you for all the feedback too, for people who are over there. People love that. So I'm going to do Sarah Boone next. Hopefully that'll be next week. Like, it'll be finished by next weekend, but I'm going to do a Sarah Boone one next because I had a blast doing that. So yeah, thank you for watching that one. Be sure to check it out. And Emily says, Paul's frequently Paul for fair use. Cool. Thank you, Emily. Yes.
Is behind her. 2 of them now dead.
When she's done with somebody, she discards them. You can't, they're people. Anytime anybody shows her that she's not in control, that she lashes out.
Rare is it when a military intelligence person goes off the rails. But when they do, it's a train wreck. You know,
They do.
She's hurt so many people, and it needs to stop.
She's conniving.
Black Widow. She needs people to feed her ego. She just preys on others.
No, that's not the Sarah I know.
There's probably her inner self that she fights with and the outer self that she wants to portray.
There were 2 sides, you know. You would think she was happy and everything was good, and then no, not so much.
He learned the other wrath side of Sarah.
And you know, probably a lot of these people that we're seeing here are going to get up and be testifying, right?
The Facebook post said $5 million bond on murder suspect. We found out just like a lot of people who knew Sarah. While covering the story the next day, the county sheriff told me all of her living exes were scared for their lives. Several exes, more than one dead. The comments on that post started stacking up quickly. People from all over the place seemed to have a story about Sarah. That's when the calls started and didn't stop for months. Stories that almost sounded unreal with each day. The stories came from across the country, but this twisted web didn't start to unravel until husband number 5.
That's who's going up. That's who the trial's for.
I worried all the time and prayed about it, that God would protect him.
How did you find out about the day he went to the hospital?
She had called my daughter and told her that Joe had been taken to the hospital. He had been taken to the emergency room, and he was unresponsive.
So that's the victim's mother that's talking right now.
Were you surprised?
I won't say I was surprised at all. I expected something was going to happen.
Joseph Hartsfield was 46, a father of 2, a diabetic whose sugar usually ran high, but his glucose level had dropped dangerously low. Sarah said she left a glass of juice for him on the counter to help bring it up, even got some jam to put in his mouth. But once he was at the hospital in Baytown, doctors did everything they could to raise it, but nothing seemed to work. Sarah's family and Joe's family spent the next 8 days just hoping he'd pull through.
It was very nerve-wracking, very, it'd be just like anybody else. I mean.
Yeah, I got a quick question. And y'all help me out here. And they very well might answer this as we go. Okay, so this is with diabetic stuff. So if he's diabetic and she, was like, oh, I withheld giving him sugar or what, he ran low, but then they're also saying it was an insulin overdose. I guess, how does that work? Because we hope to pull through. So then what did she do? Overdose him, but that made it drop and he couldn't pull back up. You see what I'm saying? I guess I don't understand how it's like he dropped way low and she didn't give him the proper things, but then she also overdosed him on it. I mean, they might answer this, but if anybody knows how how diabetic medications work, is it like, well, his type 2, his dropped to 34 one time. I was so scared. I've seen my stepdad's drop long acting insulin. So it dropped way. So wait, Alice is exactly. So if it dropped way low, And then she overdosed him. It spiked up, but then that made it go crash really hard and to a point where it couldn't raise up again. She gave him too much and his muscles started burning themselves. She intentionally overdosed him and lied and said he was low. So the hospital gave him more and that ended. Oh. Too much. He was low blood sugar and shock and death. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks, Jersey Rep, for being a member. Gotcha. And then she gave him too much and he went into it. Oh my God, the poor man. And he was telling people, I mean, you heard me talk. He was telling people, I'm scared. I don't trust her. So, he, in some way he knew before he went into whatever, oh my God, it's happening.
It was hard. We were all trying to figure out, what was going on.
What were the doctors saying?
Well, we only saw 2 doctors while we were there. I don't think that I could go into what was said.
I know more about while he was in a coma, because my mom was like texting me updates and stuff. I think she was like insinuating that, he might have taken too much insulin. I just had a weird feeling. Like, I was like, this is weird. I'm just going to wait and see how this plays out.
Sarah's son, Ryan, wasn't the only one who suspected something. Doctors did too, maybe foul play. So they called the Chambers County Sheriff's Office, and that's when the investigation started. It didn't make sense how Joe's sugar got so low because he wore a glucose monitor. So basically, anytime it got too high or too low, he would be alerted.
Yes, and so would Sarah.
On January 15th, Joe died. This video from inside as Sarah wept over his hospital bed, shared publicly on Facebook.
I thought it was a woman who really loved her husband, but I was shocked that someone videoed it. There's no way in hell I would want someone videotaping me in my darkest moments of sorrow.
I shook my head and I didn't quite feel it.
Why in heaven's name would you videotape your husband in that state? And I mean, I know why she did. And then all over, hanging all over, crying and weeping. Please send her out back next. Right. Let's go.
So many different feelings because I thought, what did he go through?
Right, exactly.
Was he in pain? Did he suffer?
When it was like time to say goodbye, she only let his mom do it. Because she told him, she's like, oh, his brother and his sister were just so ugly to me. Like, that's my husband.
The diabetic's sugar level tanked dangerously low into the 40s that she ignored a phone app sending alerts and waited an hour to call 911 after finding him unresponsive. Investigators found up to 10 insulin pens on his side of the bed. 46-year-old Joseph Hartsfield's online obituary reads he passed away peacefully due to complications of an ischemic stroke with his loving wife at his side.
She was sad. Like, she would just be crying all the time on the phone.
A panel of doctors reviewed his autopsy and determined complications of toxic effects of insulin caused his death. Manner undetermined. I started digging into public records, calling courthouses and sheriff's offices across the country. Slowly but surely, we learned about Sarah's little brother's bizarre death, a murder plot she allegedly concocted, even a fatal shooting of her fiancé. The story quickly expanded. We crisscrossed the state of Texas, took a trip to the East Coast, and hopped a flight to Sarah's hometown.
How many people has this woman killed or tried to kill? How many people are in this woman's trail? This is insane.
They called us with Sarah and we ended up with her.
When we got to Missouri, one of Sarah's foster mothers showed us around Otterville, a town of only a few hundred people, about 100 miles southeast of Kansas City.
They said that she'd been through some trauma situations with her natural biological family. She was required to go to counseling. And so I was prepared for a troubled early adolescent going into teenhood situation. I tried to let her have a typical teenage, we'd go shopping, we'd buy clothes, we'd go on vacations, we'd go to the lake. She could go to dances, try to have normalcy.
I met Sarah the summer between 6th and 7th grade when she moved in next door. It was like having a sister that I really, really wanted to have that camaraderie, to have that relationship with. I loved her.
We had a lake home and we go down there and go out on the boat, and she could bring friends or whatever. So she did fit into our family well.
I immediately took to her, and I felt like she took to me, and we were instant friends. We all grew up together.
How would you kind of describe her as a kid?
She wasn't disrespectful or loud or really talk back. Her thing was she might be sneaky. If she wanted to do something, she might sneak off or not tell you the whole story of what she's up to. But kids are kind of like, some teenage kids are like that too. She was never a loud yeller, talk back. She would just be quiet. If she was mad about something, she's just quiet and give you evil eye and go to her room. I never really knew of anything outlandishly crazy back then.
Life with Barb appeared to be pretty different than Sarah's biological family. Records revealed her stepfather had an extensive criminal history and served time for a murder conviction, a love triangle that ended in a shotgun killing. In 1990, when Sarah was living with Barb's family, her 10-year-old biological brother still lived with their mother. He was playing with a nylon dog leash on the front porch when he apparently fell off the porch. The leash got stuck on the stair railing. Their mother found him face down, leash around his neck, after hanging there for at least 10 minutes, strangled, dead, when he arrived at this hospital in Sedalia, Missouri.
It was supposedly an accident, is what we were told. I remember her having to go to that funeral and just being pretty devastated.
Investigators ruled it an accidental death, acknowledging the bizarre nature of it. A county caseworker.
She absolutely killed him. I mean, I know I wasn't there, and that's sofa speculation, right? Let's be honest. She was like, that was her first victim. That was her first victim. She was curious about death. This seems to me to be somebody who, I don't know how you describe it, but you know how like when you see like what's that movie, The Good Macaulay Culkin, The Good Son, Damien, these people who it's just like, they don't have that same register of like, oh, killing somebody's wrong. It's more like an interesting thing. Like, what would it be like to kill someone? Maybe he upset her, but yeah, no, she 100% killed him. What was that case where, and y'all will know it. Remember the girl, and she's actually, and I think this is like in England or somewhere, like she went to the neighbor's house. She killed the little boy. And then she went to the victim's parents. I mean, this is like a little kid. It was like, I'm so sorry he died. Did you cry? Did you do this? And they finally figured out that her and a friend killed the little boy. They lured him out somewhere. And then she went to wherever, because she was a young kid that did it. And she just wanted to see what it was like to kill somebody. Mary Bell, thank you, CD. I love how I can just describe it. Mary Bell. She's giving Mary Bell, right? I just wanted to see what it was like to kill somebody. And she just obviously was like, well, this is just what you do. You get rid of them, you do this, you make some money, whatever. Scotland's youngest serial killer. Yep.
Or even noted their mother showed no emotion over the loss of her son. And follow-up reports showed discrepancies in the story. 33 years later, the Cooper County Sheriff's Office in Missouri reviewed the case, but found no evidence that shows it needs to be reopened.
It was really weird to, hear that and to know that she had lost a brother, because none of us had been through anything like that before. So then I really felt bad for her then.
Despite the hardships in Sarah's past, she found love. So even in high school, did it seem like boy craziness?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can't say anything because I was boy crazy. But yes, yeah, she was pretty, and she liked that attention. She didn't want you in the way. If she liked a boy, you knew it. And so I knew she wanted to have a serious relationship with someone.
When I first met Sarah, she seemed to be a very, very nice, attentive person. I liked, she liked. She was fun to hang out with.
At Green Ridge High School, Sarah met her first love, Titus Knurnschild.
And then as the months drug on, she started to change a little bit, slowly, a little bit at a time, just getting more controlling.
My husband and I were the ones that participated in her wedding. When her and Titus got married, my husband walked her down the aisle.
We were arguing, fighting all the time.
I knew that they had some relationship problems.
She'd break up, date other people, and then come back and I'd date her again. By that time, I loved her, and she was in my head.
Titus was Sarah's first husband, married in 1993. That ended in infidelity, and the next husband was...
Bro is invested. I mean, right? He's got the little red string up there. He is invested, and we are here for it. Okay, because this case needs the investment. This is insane.
His best friend. Several more men followed, each with their own stories about what Sarah was like. Christopher Donahue was third and longest husband, the father of her 4 children. That also came with infidelity, and divorce led to her engagement to David Bragg. After she shot and killed him in alleged self-defense, she married David George. Those are all the men who came before Joe. But who was she? Sarah joined the Army in 1997.
I was shocked because she likes her own way. And when you're in the service, you're going to follow the rules or you're going to be in big trouble.
Sergeant Sarah Donahue had a top secret security clearance during her 20-year military career as a motor transport operator, then intelligence analyst. She had assignments at Fort Hood, deployed to Baghdad for less than a year, and spent 3 years at Fort Eustis in Newport.
Y'all, Fort Hood. Y'all, of course I can't with this. This is almost like, is this real? This is almost like, is this real or are we being trolled?
News, Virginia.
When I got there, she was in charge.
What were your first impressions?
Crazy.
Anybody who tells you that Sarah Donahue does not produce a good intelligence product or is a good intelligence person, military intelligence, doesn't know her the way I do. Sergeant Donahue never once indicated to me in her actions that she was not up to the task. She was whip smart.
How would you kind of explain the type of smart she was?
Really almost genius. Like, she could definitely play a room. But if you let her talk long enough, like, you'll find inconsistencies every now and then.
When investigators started looking into Sarah Hartsfield's past, they realized she lived in dozens of different places in different states across the country, including here in this Williamsburg, Virginia neighborhood.
That's not far.
It was only about 20 miles from Fort Eustis. Big houses, a very nice neighborhood. The family called it home for about 3 years.
She would always come back. She'd always call or we'd see each other and we still remained close. The kids considered us grandparents.
Every holiday was cool. Dinner was always nice. But you didn't want to like make her mad.
She was very demanding of the kids. She expected them to be like little soldiers. There was some family services called in a few times, but nothing ever came of it.
We get like spanked by our parents. Our dad would do it sometimes, but never to the extent of what our mom would do.
It was more aggressive?
Very.
In the sense of, what would she do that was so aggressive?
You didn't really know when it was going to end. I was 4th grade, and I had stayed home for about a week because my face was all messed up, and I had bruises all over my body. And when I came back, just in side conversation, told one of my friends, like, yeah, man, I got to stay home, because my face was messed up. And he's like, dude, that's child abuse. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, your parents can't do that to you. I remember she would always be like, oh, well, you can tell people whatever you want, but no one's going to believe you because of the position that I hold in society.
Bless his heart. So very interesting insight too into this. I'm reading RJB's comment. Him saying, so how he was like, what's that? A lot of times they don't know if that's your norm. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like he's like, oh, I got to see him a week or whatever. Can you imagine? And he's going to be testifying. Oh my God.
Captain Markovic's first evaluation report of her didn't reflect any problems, only good work. But he started hearing from troops complaining about her leadership style.
There was no understanding of mistakes. There was no acceptance of mistakes. There was no benefit of the doubt given to anybody who worked for her. There was none of that. The same benefit of the doubt that she expected on her end, she never showed that courtesy to any of the troops working for her.
She was telling us like, yeah, I messed up a lot as your mom. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I did this wrong. And you're like, wow, an apology. But then she'll hit you with, but I was with your dad at the time and I was so sad being with him. Like it was so hard being married to him. I was just so unhappy. And that affected me in a way which made me do this. And there is an apology, but it's, there's no accountability.
Yeah.
No accountability at home or at work.
We became very apprehensive and became very paper oriented. We documented everything. We made sure we never talked to her one-on-one. There was always somebody else there.
The military brought the family back to Fort Hood. She and Christopher Donahue bought this home in Belton, overlooking a lake along the Lampasas River.
I think no matter what, she wanted everything to be great. The great house, the great husband, the great job, the perfect kids. And life isn't always like that.
On the outside, everything's nice. What happened in the house stays in the house. So that's kind of the mindset that we all had growing up.
The house, not far from her first ex-husband's, who for years worried about Sarah popping up again.
She kept trying to talk on the phone and just causing lots of harassment and trouble. She would drive over by our house. She'd park outside the house. We had to let the children know about her and, to watch out for anything with her.
Sarah was in the Army until 2017, ranked a sergeant first.
She's also giving, let me check my pictures, right? She's giving, let me check my pictures.
Class at the end of service. She medically retired and started receiving 100% disability benefits from the VA. During her first court appearance, she said the disability involves pins and screws in her feet after having a nerve removed, PTSD, severe depression, and cancer 3 separate times.
I did consider her a daughter. Everybody needs somebody that they know they could always come home to.
While in the military and during her third marriage, extramarital affairs crossed state lines.
If I didn't answer a text, she'd send an email or Facebook message me. If I didn't respond quick enough because I'm at work to one of her questions, she would just go ballistic. Whenever she got mad, it was like World War III. I mean, she absolutely went ape.
He thought she was getting divorced, but after 2 years, the affair was over.
It ended in about as horrible as it could ever be for a person. She went her way and I went mine.
It was kind of like another secret life that she was living.
Sarah and Christopher Donahue separated not long after. The official divorce filing started the year 2017.
There would always be some sort of resentment towards my dad.
But already, Sarah was on to David Bragg. He spent 4 years in the Air Force, one of 8 siblings.
We loved to aggravate each other growing up. I remember just the standing presence that he had in the room.
He graduated from this Virginia Beach High School, a city where he also volunteered as a paramedic. His career took him to Fort Hood for a solar energy farm project. That's where he met Sarah.
One thing led to another, which happens very often, sadly, and it ended one marriage and started a new relationship. She went from being someone who kind of broke up a marriage to someone who now might be marrying my brother very quickly.
David moved to Garfield, Minnesota. Distance became part of the relationship. She traveled from Texas to Minnesota for visits. They eventually got engaged. Your brother was really trying to make Minnesota home.
He liked the solitude of being out there in the woods. He liked the ability to be an avid sportsman. She had left the kids, and the kids were actually going to school there in Minnesota, staying with my brother.
They were constantly arguing. Like it was a lot.
She kept showing up with carloads of household stuff, and they kept telling her that he did not want her up here. It's not time for her to move up there.
He was, trying to figure out how to separate amicably and move on.
I woke up that morning and it was weird. Like there was just something in the air.
David Bragg, shot dead in his Douglas County, Minnesota home. He never made it to the altar to marry the woman who killed him.
Anytime you lose somebody that's a member of your family, I mean, it's a gut punch. It felt unreal. To me, it seemed planned.
Sarah was asked about the shooting during her first Texas court appearance. She explained her third ex-husband came to visit their youngest daughter to surprise her for her birthday, but David Bragg was mad at her for letting him see the kids outside of their normal visitation. She claimed she took a beating of her life and shooting him was such an automatic response to make it out of the house alive. She said she wasn't scared when she went into the house, but she had 2 guns with her because she didn't want to leave them in the car with her kids.
The police came and talked to her. They never had her in any kind of handcuffs, that she sat in the front seat of the cruiser and was taken to jail. Like she was never treated like a suspect.
So pretty quickly you realized she probably wasn't going to be charged.
It was clear to me by the time we left Minnesota that they were going to charge her.
8 months passed. Douglas County's top prosecutor declined to file charges, writing in this letter that David Bragg fired at Sarah before she shot back. He called it a justifiable self-defense shooting, as she was facing lethal force and had no reasonable possibility of retreating from the threat.
Seeing and knowing my brother and knowing the situation around it and the conversations that he had, with my parents about leaving and getting out of the relationship, it just felt dirty. It felt wrong.
I mean, the fact that it's like they basically just believe her, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, she probably was really good at talking her way in and out of things and manipulating, obviously. But I mean, this right here, and she was like, she probably knew exactly what to say. And there you go. I hope they get her for this one too. 100% she killed him, and not in self-defense, right? 100%. Absolutely vengeful.
When things go sour, she always tries to make all of us look very abusive. She's the poor victim. We were the ones that abused her. So that's the story she put on for this thing, and somehow the cops.
So this is sped up at 1.25 right now.
If you were to come to me and tell me there was a shooting and she could not make it look like self-defense, that would surprise me.
How come?
If she could not stage a shooting as self-defense, of course she can. Come on, it's her skills, training, attention to detail.
I don't believe that if he had intended to shoot that he would have missed. And I don't believe from his background and his understanding of weaponry that he would have, because the kids were on the other side of her.
I know my mom went in there like ready to do something.
There are a bunch of holes, I feel, in that story. And once we, learned everything about it, we all were like, no, this is incorrect. Yeah. He was not this violent guy. And he simply wanted to move on with his life without her.
And it sucks because I know some of his family and, their version of him, I don't want to call them liars, but like the version that they have of him that they know is a totally different one that I know.
She sent a Facebook message to explain what she did.
I remember I was sitting there, it came through, and she was just explaining about how I'm not, this is what happened. I'm not guilty of this. I don't know why she would reach out to brothers or family members that she never even really talked to explain herself.
She actually reached out to your family to ask for forgiveness?
No, demand. She demanded that, our Christian beliefs said that we had to forgive her and that we had to accept her and that we needed to bring her into our family.
After he died.
Listen to the manipulation that she does. Oh, I cannot believe they're not letting audio cameras in there. This would be... if she takes a stand, please.
And I cleaned up the blood spot. We moved around the room that he died in, swept up all the junk on the floor, and we moved on with life. Like, no one talked about it.
Days after her Texas arrest, the same prosecutor reopened that shooting investigation in light of new information that came into the sheriff's office but wouldn't share more details. That review is ongoing at the time of this documentary.
She called to tell me, that story of her version and everything. And she was getting ready to start seeing her next husband. And she said he was a little bit older, and she told me that. And it just became, it just keeps getting a little crazier. So I backed off and I didn't reach out anymore. And we just kind of quit talking.
6 months after prosecutors cleared Sarah and David Bragg's death, she married David George. The newlyweds moved into the same home where the first David died.
The fact that she moved into the house post-mortem and took over control of the house was awkward. Even worse, she married somebody and moved a new significant other into that house.
A couple of years into their marriage, in April 2021, disturbing allegations involving the couple got the attention of the FBI and local police. Christopher Donahue, Sarah's third ex-husband, filed for a protective order after learning that Sarah allegedly wanted her new husband to travel to Arizona to kill his new wife. The reason? So that I would be too busy dealing with the death to focus on fighting for my girls anymore, Donahue wrote in an application for a protective order.
Yes, hello. Yeah, flowers for Donahue.
This is David George actually showing up at his house with a bouquet of roses a few months before the plot was discovered.
No card or anything? Let me check and see if I got it.
But he never came back with a card. Donahue watched him drive away in a black car, which Sarah allegedly had him buy to drive to Arizona to carry out the hit.
Well, that one was another one that took me by shock. They were very sane. They were shocked.
The affidavit says Sarah told David George he wasn't allowed back in their house until he finished the job. But he'd been trying for months to get her to stop pressuring him, and he'd lie to her about why it hadn't happened yet.
I think David cared about her and was reeled into how good a person that she can be, and was trying to make her happy and keep peace.
I thought it was nuts, but after the year or so that I've had with her from getting kicked out, I wasn't putting anything past it.
David George denied the allegations, calling them lies and fabrications in this sworn affidavit. He wrote that Sarah is a good mother and doesn't present a danger. But I contacted him and he said, I retracted the truth trying to protect her. Anybody who knows me knows I wouldn't do that. Sarah has 2 loves in her life. That's all she's ever had, herself and money. A week after the FBI reportedly questioned Sarah about the murder plot, She filed a divorce, David George.
There's no other way to say it. He got played. Even when she was wrong, he's on her side.
One of the kids who overheard investigators talking to Sarah told their father, Mom lied about everything, and the agents were gone. But Sarah lost custody of her 2 younger kids. A Bell County, Texas judge granted the protective order after finding that family violence occurred and was likely to occur in the future. The order still in effect. In January of 2022, court documents show Sarah's divorce with the ex she allegedly wanted to carry out the murder became final. Her Belton home sold around the same time. Welcome news for her first love, who lives nearby.
She got with her 5th husband and they sold the house here and moved to Houston. So finally we felt a bigger relief because, okay, there's no longer a place for her to stay here.
I mean, thank God.
When she first came at Thanksgiving, she was very nice, very, very nice.
I'm sure she
very pleasant. She seemed like she would be good for Joe.
When I found out, I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, she really met a dude on Facebook and they got married.
She quickly became part of the Hartsfield family. A month after finalizing her 4th divorce, after only 3 months of dating, Sarah and Joe got married.
It was too fast. And the women that he worked with kept trying to tell him, Joe, don't do it. It's too quick. I was going to sit down and talk to him before, about all of it. And then he walks in and they're married.
What kind of a surprise was that for you as his mother?
It was a big surprise.
Gosh.
Joe was born in Channelview and graduated from C.E. King High School in Sheldon. He spent years working for the state as a parole officer.
He never met a stranger. If he loved you, he loved you. And he would always be.
But see, if he was this, a kind man, all that kind of stuff, 100%, she sniffed these men out. She sniffed these men out. It was just like prey. You know what I'm saying? And the nicer they were and the more, salted or whatever, she was like, this one I can get to do whatever it is she wants that one to do. Right? I mean, everything was like, y'all help me out. I'm sorry to use this word, intentional. You know what I mean? Like it was like playing chess almost. Like I'll do this to get this to transactional is the word I'm looking for.
There for you no matter
what. Katie Cat, trust me.
Last April, Sarah and Joe moved to this Beach City home, a gated community just steps from Trinity Bay. How were her interactions with the family?
They were very good until they moved.
What changed?
I really honestly can't really tell you. I don't know. Everything was fine and then it wasn't.
In December, Sarah went to San Antonio for a few weeks for a surgery and stayed with her son.
It was supposed to be like 3-4 days max. Her and my roommate had that argument, and then she left.
She posted on Facebook on December 18th, in a bad situation, you have to know when initiating an exit strategy is all you have left and hope it won't take an eternity to recover.
She told me.
Remember how if you're on the live last night and they were talking about how she posted that Facebook video of her hanging all over the husband's hospital bed when he's dying, and I made that joke saying that the tagline was like, at hospital, don't want to talk about it. What was that right there? They just showed her Facebook thing, that passive aggressive stuff. Sometimes you got to know how to make an exit strategy. You're squatting at your son's house and causing problems, leave. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to announce your exit. You don't need to do a little thing or whatever. Roommate's lucky to be alive.
She's like, we're done. They were sleeping in separate rooms at that point.
He was leaving her. We went the next day and opened a checking account back up there where we live. He had already discussed moving with someone. And he just said, Mom, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. If I stay, she's going to drive me crazy.
Did he also apologize to you?
Yes.
What was he apologizing for?
For all the problems she had caused us.
Sarah made this post around the same time. A man who has mommy issues tends to approach relationship issues like a boy. She posted almost every day after he died. One said, I'm a widow. Those words and that title can't be possible. I know we loved each other dearly. I miss him so much.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, she killed him. But it wasn't about her husband dying. It was about her being a widow.
It just seemed like, woe is me and I need this attention. And so I unfollowed her.
Chambers County's top prosecutor presented the case to a grand jury, which returned an indictment for murder. The arrest came February 3rd, a day after she turned 48.
Does it surprise you that she's in jail? No. Growing up, I'm like, no, what if my mom does get caught doing this? Because I knew she wasn't doing the right thing on our behalf. It's kind of surreal seeing it happen. Like, I know it's for the best, but it's still my mom, so it's kind of weird seeing it.
Honestly, we were all waiting for something else to pop up.
Yeah.
Just the way it seemed like it was like, you know, when my mom told me about what happened to Mr. Hartsfield, I wasn't surprised.
One hand, it was a little bit of a surprise. A second, it was like, oh my gosh, she finally got busted. But the surprise was that she got caught.
Is this the same Sarah we went to high school with? Is this the same Sarah Smith that, you know, we knew when we were kids or whatever? And like, yes, that is.
Now behind bars in the Chambers County Jail, she's locked away in this all-women's cell with bunk beds right next to the dining and bathroom areas. A small TV in the corner airs local television, and this kiosk lets her send and receive messages. One thing everyone told me about her, she loved texting, and I quickly found out that was true. She gave us her first public statement, denying the allegations, professing her love for Joe, and writing in part, "It's about time I quit being vilified by his family and by the public. I never deserved how I was treated, and Joe, our relationship, our marriage, our story ended way too soon and not by any wrongdoing."
Only on 2 tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from the woman accused of murder in Chambers County.
She saw that story from jail, and that's when more messages flooded in. When I checked my phone in the morning, it took about an hour to read everything she said. My story and the truth have me walking out of this jail free of all the false accusation I've been subjected, in addition to what is seriously character assassination on a nationwide level. She told me to quit the type of journalism found in grocery rags and be a reporter with class and dignity. She said if she's guilty of anything, it's picking horrible husbands. Pretty soon after, she blocked me, but her attorney talked outside of court earlier this month.
My issue with her was that I didn't want her speaking with the media, and that's because we know that anything that she says could be used in the court of law. Sarah's in a position where she's never had to endure this type of treatment as far as being incarcerated. Our defense is she had nothing to do with it. Maybe had nothing to do with it. I mean, that's your defense. You know, I never gave him medication. I never did anything with his medical. I was going through my own recovery at the time. Their case has diminished as far as reasonable doubt goes. They're focusing on past events and not this current event. Watch themselves as far as their judgment towards Sarah. Wait until this whole case is complete. You know, we have the right to be considered innocent until we're proven guilty. And so I just want to remind the public of that.
You know, sometimes in life, after you see stuff go on for so long, you shake your head. What's heartbreaking is these people who have lost their loved one for some kind of senseless something. Why?
This wasn't someone who was raised by a monster who, you know, you would expect to go out into the world and hurt other people.
When I got divorced, I was surprised I got out alive. People used to laugh when I would say it. But the same people now are like, oh, wow, it's amazing you got out alive. Thank goodness.
I would love to have my brother back. I would love for his kids to be able to call him on a daily basis. I would love for those relationships to be whole.
Do you think she's guilty?
Yes.
Do you think she's capable of covering it up?
Yes. Yeah.
If nothing happens furthermore in her case down in Texas, I think someone else is going to end up getting hurt.
From 5 years, you know, you got 3 major incidences that many people would probably go to jail for, you know.
If she gets out of jail, I'm going to be very fearful of my life.
If for whatever technicality she gets out, let me know because, I got to start watching my back. She is vengeful. She's revenge oriented. And yeah, let me know.
Are you kidding me? I felt kind of like we were hoodwinked.
I can't imagine that you do something in life and now you're in a situation where you can't drive a car again. You can't ever hug grandbabies. You can't hug your kids. You can't walk on the beach. You can't pick up the phone and make a phone call. I can't imagine that. So I really don't know. I don't know. As much as she likes control, I don't know how she's dealing with that.
Get her. Yeah. Okay, before I forget, I want to say this. So that was the end of it, obviously. Okay, when she was sending him those text messages, the reporter dude who was just saying, like, he got she's blowing his phone up or what, email, however it comes through. Okay, interesting insight, because it's like you're hearing directly. It's almost like we're getting, hey, down under, we're almost like we're able to hear the thought process of people like Sarah Boone, Donna Adelson, these people. I'm the victim. In fact, when I get up here and tell my story, they're going to see that this is a trial by media and this and that and these false accusations. And I'm like, girl, we just watched a little after school ABC Reading Rainbow special on you, and we're basically firing up the gun range. Okay. I'm talking about, we are firing up old Sparky, okay, based on that. A Reading Rainbow, whatever. Okay. This is insane. Hey, Crafty says being the victim is part of the narcissist. Yeah. That's what's so interesting. Like how much she is, I'm the victim. In fact, and you heard her say, if anything, I'm a victim of picking bad husbands. And it's just like, but again, remember Sarah Boone, where it was like, we're sitting here theorizing, like, and she did seem to have this whole thing of like, wait till you see the evidence. Wait till you see the video I took. Wait till blah. But here it is. You're hearing it directly from the source. Wait till this. Oh, she's ready for tomorrow. I can assure you of that. Her bags are packed. Okay. She has rolled it up. She's sitting next to that deputy station like, let's go. She's making a list of people to get revenge to when she gets out. She's giving her slides away. She's giving her honey buns away. Hey, thanks, Peachy Keen. Down under, I hope you've been doing well. She is ready to go, and it is not going to probably go her way. Here's the thing, too. Bless her son's heart. I mean, you heard him talk. He's going to be probably all up in this trial, having to testify against his mother. Imagine the people who have lived through that. Imagine dating or marrying again after encountering that. You would be so distrustful, and understandably so, right? And apprehensive of people, because like wherever they were saying in the beginning, like I think the foster mom was saying, you don't expect somebody that to kill somebody and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Even in the crazy times where these men were like, oh my God, I've got to get away from her. She's driving me crazy, whatever. You're still not expecting at a certain point. Now, obviously at a certain point, some of them did, but even in those crazy, you're not expecting a person to kill you. Right. But then when it starts to get down that dark path, where you're like, wait a minute. Because the last husband, remember, I can't remember the gentleman's name already. Was it David, the last victim? It's sad that I have to ask the last victim, which victim. But the last husband she killed that she's going on trial for. I mean, he was telling his mother and them, I think she's going to hurt me. I think she's going to kill me. I can't believe they're not airing it. Y'all, and probably for all due reason. So the judge really hasn't given a reason. So my understanding, a couple of things that I've learned through this. This is a Texas judge, and he runs a pretty tight ship, right? So one thing that I've understood is that number one, pardon me, they are allowing a camera in, but there's not going to be any audio recording, like I said in the beginning, except for verdict and closing arguments. Now, there's something to do with the size of the courtroom and where they put a camera, and it having to be outside. There's something weird about it. And so to me, the vibe that I get, and also they're very concerned about obviously media bias, jury, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And so I felt like the judge did like a middle of the road, and also like, okay, well, technically, we're going to open fair thing. You can watch it on the screen, but you can't hear it. So everyone's happy there. How about that? Not everybody, obviously. And especially if she takes a stand, please. This would be a fascinating person. Psychologically speaking, the people like her, Sarah, but the ones that are going to get up there and talk their way out of it, Lori Daybell, they're psychologically interesting to me to see how they're working how they're not seeing the same thing. So just like her talking about, I'm a victim of big and bad husbands, and y'all are going to see this, and it's just like, what, this doesn't, and especially if they knew what they did, right? Like if she knows, if she knows in her brain, I killed my little brother, I killed my first fiance. I don't even think somebody said they were a fiance, not even married. I killed my last husband, but to double down and be like, no, it's just like what was so weird. And again, I say weird, but like psychologically fascinating, bizarre, whatever. The Adelson thing, where literally you're watching this evidence and I forget, I think Georgia said it, the attorney and the state attorney in there, where she was like, they were gleeful when they learned that it was an FBI investigation and not an extortion. They were that confident of, please, that's not an FBI investigating us. Feds are onto us. Oh, great. We can handle that. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you're that confident? Like, what evidence are you looking at that we're not seeing? Right? And this right here, please. I can't believe her son's going to have to testify. We saw all the other people too. I'm not trying to discount anybody else's, how she's victimized so many people, but it's just like, whoa. When he said, the son said, if you're just tuning in, that she used to beat him so bad, he stayed home for a week one time, and he was telling one of his friends, I got to stay home for weeks. My face was so messed up. And his friend's like, that's child abuse. And he was like, what is that? You know what I mean? He's like, what is that? Like, he's like, your parents can't do that. He had no idea, until then, obviously. I mean, I'm sure maybe he thought that it was, wrong or whatever, but it was fascinating to hear, like, my God, this poor kid, that's the norm. And you heard him say, like, you didn't know when it was going to stop. Oh, imagine what she was like. And then Fort Hood. Oh my God, I cannot even. Fort Hood's where all the crazy crimes happened, right? What was her name? Was it Fort Hood that was Vanessa Guillen? Am I saying that right? Vanessa Guillen, is that the victim? I don't know if I think well, you know what? Where's my phone? I've got it right here. I think it's KUTV. I said, what about us? Okay, hold on. We're looking at KUTV. If I gotten this straight off memory, I want like a honey bun or something. I want a soup and a honey bun. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Let me reread that show. Hold on. Okay, so KUTV. Wait, that's Utah. Sarah Hartzfield. Wait, let's go to news. No, here's a Sarah Hartfield. Oh, let's do this. Sarah Hartsfield trial coverage. I'm gonna have to find it. It's in my notes somewhere. I forget who it is that listed. Wait, there was like they're gonna be in the courtroom. So, thanks Phoenix for being here. Sarah Hartsfield killing. Sarah Hartsfield accused of killing. Let's see if this is a. I'm pretty sure it's that kid. It wasn't me, that kid. The gentleman who we just saw doing the documentary. 2.5 years. Next week she was in trial for murder. This is some of what she sent me messages. I saw you did a story on Claire. Will this be streamed live? Okay, hold on. So Barbara says that 2 days ago, she asked that dude who just did this, will this be streamed live? He said, live streaming will not be allowed, but we'll have recaps live on YouTube every day. Thank you. Okay, so KPRC2, Bryce Newberry, that dude who just did this, is going to do that. I would imagine they would be doing them like live as well. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Oh wait, hold on. So we'll either like rewatch his or read through stuff or whatever, right? We'll figure it out. And then obviously the what do you call it? The closing arguments, when it's audio, we'll do it. When it's actually live streamed, right? Yeah, so jury selection begins tomorrow in this. And what we'll do is, you know how like when this is what I do for it. Whenever it starts, I just go find out who's live. I still call it tweeting. Whoever's live tweeting from the courtroom, usually a reporter or whatever. And that's how I go based on it. But we'll see, right? So obviously several people will be like doing YouTube, like him, like I was in there. This is the recap, but I agree. It's not the same as it being live at all, right? You don't get the nuances of it at all. And this is one that incredibly explosive. Here's the thing. When I saw this coming up and I was like looking at like what trials are coming up and all this, and I was like, Sarah Hartzfield, I was like, it sounds familiar. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, this case, like people got millions of views on this, like a few years ago when it popped off, and I'm like, what is that? Usually obviously says if every channel has covered the case and it's like major, it's like what is up with this? So I started just looking into it a little bit, and I'm like, I mean, you already see like what you see when you scratch beneath the surface ever so slightly. You're like, what? So that's where I was like, oh, come on. I've been like waiting on pins and needles to see if they were going to. Runs with Scissors, I love your name. I've been waiting on pins and needles to see if they would air it, and no. So, but like I said, we'll do the daily things or whatever. We'll see we're just going to see how it plays out. So we'll probably go ahead and just schedule a live. Well, I'll wait till tomorrow morning. We'll do a live tomorrow night, probably around 7. And see then. And if it's like, we'll just wait every few days to it. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll see. We shall see. Just exactly how it plays out. So again, the amount of witnesses that are getting up there, the sounds of the evidence. I mean, her own thing, that Facebook post, please. Who films their person dying? I don't get and puts it on Facebook. No. Immediate red flag central. Absolutely. Major red flag central. And then again, keep in mind that Brian Walsh is October 20th. If everything goes, the way it's supposed to. We'll see. We shall see. So yes, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening, get some dinner, a second dinner, I should say, and probably go to bed. I'm exhausted. So we'll see what pops off tomorrow. Do a live chat, go over everything, kind of see how it's going to play out. You know what I mean? And then we'll go from there. So we shall see. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it, Colored Pencil Cat. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Emily, for being here. Thank you, Tux. I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Thank you for keeping the cushions fluffed. Emily, I hope you feel better. Sofa Squad, thank you for being here, making everything possible. Yeah, you can't see it, but I was taping off the front part here. The taping's the most tedious part. I'm going to work on painting tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get it. I was going to tape more, but I got to go sit down. I'm like, Sarah wore me out. Sarah's always wearing me out for some reason. So that's it. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I love y'all. And we will finish off with Slow Morrison's Ode to the Sofa.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.